across the American continent, towing 30 tons or more at a time behind them.
Breaker 19, this is Texas Hawk.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Fun or Run. This is the review show where we answer the question, is this game any fun or should you run? The game in question today is 18-Wheeler American Pro Trucker.
Rock and roll. The roar of 400...
This game appeared originally in arcades in the year 2000. And then it came to Dreamcast in 2001, PS2 later in 2001, and then finally landed here on the Gamecube in 2002. And that's the version that I'm playing here today. So I never really played this in the arcade, although I do remember seeing it. Sat in a big truck, steering wheel and pedals. It's one of those great big cabinets in the arcade. But the thing is, in an arcade, you don't need a long game. You just need some quick action that's fun enough to pump some quarters into. This game seems to be built for that pretty well. But how does it hold up on a home console? That's what we're looking at here. So basically, you drive between two different towns, racing through traffic and fighting off your rival. Yes, your rival. The ever so intimidating Lizard Tail. Oh, and in case you didn't know, he's the #1 trucker in the US of A.
I'm Lizard Tail, #1 trucker in the US of A, and don't you forget it! You're in my way, Greenhorn! Don't run that rig in front of me!
Yeah, watch out, Greenhorn! So in 18-Wheeler American Pro Trucker, you can play the arcade version, which is pretty self-explanatory, but then it also has parking. Bunch of parking challenges, one right after another.
Excellent job!
You have score attack, which is kind of like a race. There's a track and you go around and around getting score, hitting other vehicles, losing score, gaining score, that whole thing. And then you have Versus, which is a nice split-screen version of Score Attack for 2 players. But even with all these different modes and things, the real reason why anyone would get this game is for the arcade mode. That mode is just 4 different routes, and when you complete one of them, you get to do a parking challenge. And then after that, you're off to the next route.
You did it!
You start off by choosing from 5 different difficulties. There are 4 different truck styles, each with slightly different attributes, and a unique hard-ass truck driver. I personally seem to gravitate toward the Asphalt Cowboy. Giddy up, partner. You also choose between 2 different trailers with different loads on them. One is normal difficulty and the other one is hard. I think that's because the 2 different loads that you have are different weights, making your truck a little bit slower or faster. So after all of that, you're all set to go. You're excited, you're ready to go hit the open road, but then you realize semi-trucks aren't really that fast. In fact, they're kind of slow. There's 2 different camera options. The first one is in the cab, cockpit view, which is complete with a bunch of crap flying around on the dashboard and dangling air fresheners for authenticity. And then the third-person camera, which is right behind the truck. Problem with that one, though, is depending on what trailer you selected, you sometimes can't see much of the road ahead. So you're kind of stuck using the cockpit view most of the time.
Ready? Go!
So you hit the gas and you get going, and like many other arcade racers from Sega, you have to shift from low to high. Kind of like Outrun or Hang On, any of those old games. But even when you shift into high in this game, you speed up a little bit, but overall, this arcade racer is not a speed demon. You get going, you hit some checkpoints for additional time. Also, you can smash these, they look like shaggin' wagons, all dressed up with flames on the side. You smash into these vans for 3 extra seconds per van. And believe me, even on normal, you will need it. In order to complete one of the routes, you have to have a pretty clean run and get some additional time from smashing the vans to just barely make it to the finish.
Don't run that ring in front of me!
Hold it faster! You made it!
Excellent job! That's your job done! You really did it! Congratulations!
Oh yeah, who's the greenhorn now, Lizard Tail? Another thing about this game is that once you do make it to the finish, you pretty much always beat your rival, good old Lizard Tail, because if you didn't beat him, you wouldn't make it in time. So, kind of defeats the whole purpose of the rival thing. Also, you have to pay attention to your score bonus. You start off with the full bonus, and you lose money every time you damage your trailer. So if you can do a completely clean run and hit nothing, you get the full bonus. You get all the cash! Problem is, there's really nothing to spend it on. It's pretty much just score. The other strange thing to notice is how long the last second lasts. You know, right before it says time's up. It's kind of like 3, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, and then it says time's up.
Time is up!
This game, in just about every single way, was made for arcades. They have it set up so that you complete missions just barely, and that really forgiving last-second thing is there to hook players into feeding the game with more coins. And then, of course, you have your parking challenge at the end of each race, where you unlock a power-up. You get a horn, a muffler, and an engine. So there's that to look forward to.
You got the muffler!
The real issue with this game is that you can see just about everything here in 2 hours, easily, including the parking and score attack modes. There's just not a lot here. You can go back and play it again with different trucks, select different trailers with different loads, as well as changing the overall difficulty, but really the game remains the same. It just changes how much time you have and how fast your truck is. And I'm a pretty big fan of Sega arcade racing games. This game reminds me of a lot of those. In fact, it makes me think of Crazy Taxi. In fact, it kind of makes me want to play Crazy Taxi. I also have to mention something very weird. The more I play this game, I have a strange feeling that I want to go eat at a Denny's restaurant. I want to buy some gas at Texaco and get a room at a Holiday Inn. I don't know why. It's just a feeling I get. Oh yeah, and the game actually thanks Denny's, Texaco, and Holiday Inn in the credits. So 18-Wheeler American Pro Trucker is a short, arcade-style truck racing game, has some fun action, and if you have a friend, the split screen can be fun, but just don't expect much from this game. Luckily, you can find this for only a few bucks, and that's probably the right price for it. So for this episode of Fun or Run, 18-Wheeler American Pro Trucker on GameCube, you can have some fun with this game, but it's really over before you know it. And it really didn't make me want to jump back into the cab and hit the open road again after the first couple hours. So to answer the question of, is this fun or should you run? 18-Wheeler American Pro Trucker? I'm going to have to say, run.
You're in my way, Greenhorn!
Hey, thanks everybody for sticking with me and watching the entire video. I hope you liked it. The best way to help out the channel is to leave a like, leave a comment, and tell your friends. If you'd like to support the channel further, there are links in the description. But otherwise, always remember that you never outgrow video games. My name's Chad the Gaming Dad, and we'll see you on the next one. So long, everybody.